Abusia Prem, I mean, was say, Emo Kwaba, and from Rai Casafoni, Esso. Of course, I have Smart Africa Media. I told you this morning, say, Yama me, Nana Kunedu Atiman Rollins. Yera Rollins, Neira and Nay, what way, Unukunu, what Tobe and Fien Nay, Numini. Now, and they, and I make a trust me, get the information is now, Media Barber, Swampa, Mayabia Menso, Medi Air Brown, and Ina Aye. Yena in Koku, Yera, Uncle Ata, J.J. Rollins, one more any power, no man antepa, and Nipa on an antake as Sepa, Yera, Uncle Ata Professor. Yeah, and there was also one nanum Akunia Subianase, one tias, your watron and nanum, I want Sebi. Now, Papa, you know what DND small, Cotene Papa, and to the Mammy, a Wuyano, Wabeka and Semia disclosed secret via Mameno, and no AD, and I say, Smassing Kumobia, Mameno, Eka Edition before answer, whoa, Nano and a Magada Namede, Abba Sumun, and what prophet and the prophet Victor Kusi Watting. One also adding saber to the waters who is a woman after say plane crash no air crash and I say helicopter crash no a buy no what they saber to just end this American and you won't pay in for the who is who at the since you mutilate so I don't see and also echo we are going to Ebra.
I'm sorry, that should have come to you as a shocking news, Mewa.
Well, good morning and thank you for this opportunity. Yeah, well, a shocking news actually. A shocking news by all standards, yes. Shocking news.
But yeah, of course, I mean say when family no na we are very close. Also why national officer for the NDC I suspect only we Juma closely. A day now okay e fa na konedo ho me pacho.
Well, Obi, first of all, I'm going to fa busia yako otu for etune na hene ebusia penyi obaye ono no di ni menrana ye ni I was say nyina nti ye bema ebusia yako yama nkola no yako ezoneto asantewa aminani kimati Yama my morning Yako. So yeah, Obi, yes. What do I remember? You know, as I got very close to President Rawlings before he passed almost 5 years ago, yeah, I mean, Madam, let me find Madam. Yes, you been here in Kitahudi Esronko on the 25th of March this year. It's International Women's Day. So I did an article. I just decided that, look, let me eulogize Madam for International Women's Day, especially this year, 2025, and mark it the 30th year of the UN conference in Beijing. Maminumo yenu manumo inaswo sronko for women's empowerment worldwide. And the role that the 31st December Women's Movement played. You know, so I did the article. It was published in the Daily Graphic and many other portals carried same. And I remember sending her the link because we used to chat a lot. And Koku, God bless you for remembering me and remembering the role that I played or I was able to play. It looks like some people have forgotten. But God bless you, Koku, for remembering me and for remembering leaders who have served this nation within your time. You too, one day, people will remember you and honor you. And so, Obi, for me, yesterday afternoon, around 1:15, when I got wind of it, luckily, can I say luckily? So, incidentally, I happened to be around the Ridge neighborhood. So it wasn't difficult for me to just hit. I went first to the 31st office.
Okay.
No VNU, of course. Then I went to President Rollins' office at Reach, and I found my brother Kobna Ando. And then the family was there, so we were able to then put heads together. Things happened. Subsequently, the media was addressed. And so for me, I remember her from the perspective of the article that I wrote. And what was the article about? It was International Women's Day. And Anamekai. So growing up in 79, in Bema camp as a boy, schoolboy, subsequently 31st December Women's Movement. Now, we share educational system from the days of Nkrumah up to today. We've had various forms of free education. Every state form was on government bursary. Nkrumah had a scholarship scheme. Other people have the scholarship schemes. President Koku came free education. But if you look at Madam 31st December Women's Movement and what they brought at the base of childcare, and it's a 31st Women's Daycare Centers, markets, very accessible to young women, it was also called Anopa for Banoko 2 daycare center. No quality care, very quality care that was given to children, and I'm sure today if they gather as 31st December babies, normal say Jama Independence Square, we need about 4, 5, 6 and so on. And so if you look at as a mother of that time, where she brought that empathic mother care from, that's very significant. So beyond the Beijing, all the glitz and glamour of the world, what she started here locally. Then I remember the crusade. Send your girl child to school, send your girl child to school, send your girl child to school. Those days it was only GBC.
Yeah.
And that's all we could hear. Send your girl child to school. The crusade was going on. In the yes, speech and prize giving day, law school, University of Ghana. They say manage prices in India.
Sure.
There was an era in this country. First lady being in a dumb. A share that a push the agenda, a PR, the agenda of sending the girls to school. Then female genital mutilation, FGM. I have a friend, Fatu Baldi, a Gambian friend. We work together within the ECOWAS sub-region on a number of issues. Today, she's a doyen in the Gambia worldwide because she is now fighting FGM, which is still a major issue in the Gambia. But if you think back now, Nana Koneduni 31st December women, how many decades ago, to make it a crime for our little sisters to go through that kind of body mutilation, very significant. Traditional birth attendants, TDAs, school classroom, but one more at a point in time when the 31st December Women's Movement decided to up their skills, and specifically in rural areas, using lanterns, gas lights, and candles to midwife people, those women were given training, given certificates, just to boost what it is or it was that they were doing. If you come by the fireside, Mami Dokuno GTV, the use of folklore, so the folkloric aspect of nation building and helping the children understand that you come from a unique space called Ghana, and within the Ghanaian folkloric space, This is what you can learn out of it. Obi, yesterday as I sat in the house, and I just said, God, so why? I now understand why you made me eulogize Nana Konedu in March, for her to appreciate it during her lifetime. And yes, then as I'm talking to you, but at least today, with honor, with humility, and with subtle pride, I can say that I eulogized Nana Konedu not 20 years ago, this year, 2025, and she's passing. Incidentally and interestingly, she was born on November 17th. So November 17th this year, she would have been 77.
Wow.
But only 5 years ago, I buried my daughter on November 17th.
Ah.
Yeah, she passed on the 7th of November. Rollins himself passed on the 12th of November. And I buried my beautiful young daughter on the 17th of November. So, as we say, c'est la vie. May her gentle Nana Konedu's soul rest in peace with all our human imperfections. As I am imperfect, as you are imperfect. But if you put it in perspective and the constructive nature, look, even with 31st, in terms of national security, Obi,
yes,
all across the country, those women in the villages, or Tony Pito, or Tony Ninsefu, or Yeni Millet, or Yeni Koku, or Yeni Kosi, are the kind of orientation that they got through the 31st December women's movement made them an integral part of the national security setup. So you go to that Pito joint and you are drinking and you are talking by heart against the system.
You don't know who is.
You go to the Pawine. You don't go to the Pawine base. Born out there. Oh, say baby Nyaku Ameye. Oh, Masa. Ochina bini abedwa. Who be information if you go and say abedwa. It kept. Look, from a sociologically, functionalist perspective, it kept society intact. And so that's Nana Konedu for you. And as it is, unless history changes drastically, she's going to end up as the longest ever serving First Lady of the Republic of Ghana.
Yeah.
And nobody will take it away from her, yeah.
And probably the most impactful.
Well, impactful, yeah, because of the length of stay. But otherwise, if you take it from those of us who are believers, if you take it from the ministry of Jesus Christ, 3 years ministry, which still remains the most impactful since human existence. So, yes, for now, from the multifaceted angles I've come from, yeah, she's been very impactful.
Yeah.
Of course, maybe there's somebody who will come another beyond us who will only do 4 years, 8 years, and be more impactful. So, yes, for now, I agree that she was very impactful, yes.
But from the unimne the okay, not to say the 31st December Women's Movement, no, was not just an amalgamation of women group across the country. A critical tool. Over the 19 years, no, right?
It was an extremely essential wing of the governance structure. I mean, like I'm saying, growing up in Burma camp. So, Auntie Sisi, as we used to call her, Mrs. Cecilia Johnson, may her soul rest in peace.
Yeah.
She's also, as it were, resting in the morgue. She also passed about a month ago. So, and Auntie Sisi and my late mother in Burma camp. So, what at that time, because Auntie Sisi herself was a Burma camp woman, her husband, the late Colonel Johnson. So they had what they call the Armed Forces Wives Association, AFWA. So my mother and Auntie Sisi and co were part of the AFWA. Then when you extend it to the 31st, which was nationwide, look, Obi, these women really, really, really dug it in for the nation. And for those of us who saw what they did, yes, so 31st was not just a talk shop. It was not just an amalgamation of women, but it was women who were empowered to understand that role that they had to play in society beyond childbirth, beyond being, procreation, beyond just going to the market. No, you are an integral part of nation building, and let nobody devalue your role as nation builders. And I think that's the spirit that 31st breathed into the system. Wow. You know, yesterday somebody asked me, so what happened to 31st after we crossed over into democracy? That's where, you know, the transition, you know, and maybe the quick desire to walk away from everything that was TNDC. Maybe today, with hindsight, if the NDC had held on to some of those structures, maybe, just maybe, the political party would be where we all wish that it would have been. You know, because you go into the places and some of those 31st buildings are just lying idle. It's like they have become an anathema. And nobody wants to touch.
Koku, even at least in the early 90s up to the late 90s, no, 31st was still vibrant, Wana.
Yeah, but early 90s, late 80s into late 90s, Bekonedu was still very much there. Post 90, so 92, into 2000, but after 2000, 2001,
after 2000,
so we brought it along, so honestly, but I'm saying that beyond than what happened, you know, and that is where also it will be, you know, we must be able to keep institutions beyond personalities. So when you see Koku Anyidoho, I mean, when I eulogize President Mills and I eulogize President Rawlings, today yes. We are here, and I say, we are here. Expiry date but there a America be near to and a baton and a baton I did to Mecano. Obi the Jai will be the Jai will be the Jai will be. Yes. And to one of my bet 2 or more and I almost you may be no. Then yes, I'm going to say you real for Mosa. And I didn't say, and yet you say, and yet, Baku for you. It is always important. Say, Kono, near teacher don't know the call, teacher don't know the call, teacher don't know the call. And 31st, the Omoye and the Omoye, and like I'm saying, maybe the Nakopons is there a fee much a damn moving trust idea and there's also graphic online now. Ubemu Troy did one dance here. I will also here a damas and sana and Nakopon after every at for us Mammy, Madam, Obeyebi, and the Trogana Bakosema Mate. Woman crack. And then Rebecca, Rollins.
Very well. Koku, my nase, Bibiania, Yebesia Babidin Comobio. Why?
I said, blessed weekend.
Very well. Koku Anyidoho.
The way in some woman added to Yakako TV at the Abba Prophet Victor could see watching and a watcher said, woman will not DB says and say, NDC, I mean, you could now 1 year listening to Jawaka, how we are for ending. And when she any Koku Anyidoho assign Edwin at to us, Makwakofa at the Abrawada, Mobaswana was watching what subscribing to a YouTube channel now as Smart Africa Media. Yeah, they be smart to know. Yeah, subscribing like Navi Sign Share.